G'day everybody, Mark here from Motorsport Connections. We have just finished racing Saturday night with our 410 wing sprint car. It's now time to service our fuel system, and I've asked Andrew from Alki Race Products to come down just to show us how to maintain and keep our fuel system fresh so we're ready to roll out next Saturday night and we're good to go. Andrew, thanks for coming down and spending some time with us. Alki Race Products, just quickly tell us what exactly is it?
Mark, the Alki Race Products are all oils that actually dissolve in methanol. So they're safe to use in any methanol Alki fuel system, and what they do is they protect the fuel system, they absorb residual methanol. For many years, most racers have used penetrating oils, WD-40s, inox and so on. The main problem is they don't actually mix with the methanol. So anything that you lubricate through the fuel system, when the fuel is put back in the vehicle to race, it's not mixing with the lubricant that you've used to protect the system. So it's a bad mix. Just show you a little demo here. This is straight methanol.
So we basically poured that, folks, straight out of our tank into a clear bottle.
And this is your typical penetrating oil, the likes of inox, WD and etc. Now this is what most, I would say 90% of teams are using to flush through their fuel systems and lubricate their fuel systems to try and protect them. Now,
and you at home, folks, you can do this as well, so check it out.
Now, as you can see, it's a shocker. This product is meant to be in the system to lubricate and remove the methanol. It 100% does not do it. As you can see, the penetrating oil is at the bottom, methanol at the top. Nothing's mixing, nothing's protecting. You can see on this side here, you've still got methanol against the surface. Here you have the penetrating oil against another surface. It is not lubricating everything that methanol is touching. Now, once that's in your fuel system, in any of the fuel lines, anywhere at all, we'll just see if that mixes. It doesn't mix. What it does is it forms a slurry at the bottom. Now that slurry is going to sit at the bottom of your fuel tank. It's going to sit in all sorts of little nooks and crannies in the engine. It's going to collect contaminants, and then that's going to affect the performance of your system. It is also going to give you the possibility of blocking a jet and then blowing up your engine. Now the Alki Race products, all of these products have the same properties. This is the fuel flush. Once you put this product into the methanol, thanks Mark.
Wow.
It goes straight in a solution, dissolves, dissipates, burns up as soon as you start the engine again. So when you've got the fuel flush in the system, it goes through. It is a nice lubricating oil which will protect all your fittings, protect everything from above the rings upwards. So inside the bores, inside the barrel valve, inside all of your fuel system, you have this protective oil coating. And as you can see, once you fuel the car again to race, it has dissolved into the fuel. It'll burn up and straight out the pipes. Here's what you're using now.
Now Andrew, I've got to say, whenever I've pulled motors down previously with using other products, I tend to find there's a tide mark sitting on top of the pistons. It's left some erosion in the bores.
Exactly.
And my engine builder has always said it's a result of the methanol that's been set there after the race. What will the Alki Race products do to prevent that as well? Will it actually go and search the methanol out and dissipate it?
Just to go back to this idea here of where you're putting penetrating oil down inside the cylinders, you're putting penetrating oil through the system. If you've got a penetrating oil on top of the rings, the methanol's still sitting there. You never get it all out of the system totally. Where the methanol sits, it's going to etch into the bore. Where the penetrating oil's sitting, yeah, it may protect it there, but it hasn't protected it all the way through. So with the fuel flush, it will sit on top of the rings. The methanol will be absorbed into the fuel flush and it will neutralise, and vice versa, it will mix 100% and burn out the pipes once you go to fire.
The other thing with penetrant oils that I've found recently quite surprising is when you actually spray it onto an item, it might look good there for about a week, but after that week it actually dries and actually pulls it all away. Can you tell us a little bit?
Well, effectively a penetrating oil is it's almost like a degreaser. So what's happening is you've got a very light oil which is added to the solvent. The solvent makes a drag into whatever you're trying to loosen up, a nut or bolt or anything like that, and then there's a light coating oil. Well, that solvent just dries off. It is not something you want to spray inside an engine. You don't want to run. Would you take all the oil out of that engine and run it on penetrating oil?
No,
you just
not.
Wouldn't. It's not the right product for the job. Penetrating oil should be used for loosening nuts and bolts and maybe protecting a bit of rust. Inside that engine, you want something that's going to lubricate, and then it's going to mix with the methanol and blow out the system and leave a perfectly clean fuel system for you to run that engine on.
Andrew, you've got three main products that are used for alcohol type engines. Can you talk us through those three products, their benefits and how they're used?
Yes, sure. Basically we've got a fuel flush, which is used to flush through or chase the methanol through the engine to get rid of the methanol and leave a lubricating coating. We have pump lube, which is a thicker viscous fluid that will actually stay residual in your fuel pump, and barrel valves to absorb methanol and lubricate the fuel system.
Can I just butt in there? So that would be really good for preventing dry starts as well?
Oh, exactly, yeah. Once you've taken all the methanol out of the motor and the fuel pump is dry, obviously when you're turning the engine over, servicing or whatever you're doing, gaining oil pressure, and you don't have fuel running through the fuel pump, it's running dry. So when you finish servicing and you've put pump lube back in the fuel pump, at least you're turning it over with a lubricated pump and you're not causing any wear or particle wear in that pump.
And other applications for the pump lube other than a sprint car, for example, you might use that on...
Pump lube's also a great assembly lube. It can be used as a blower lube. There's a lot of drag racing applications that we use it in. It is a thicker version of our fuel flush and fuel lube and has the same properties. So it's going to lubricate, it's going to absorb methanol, it's going to dilute methanol and protect any component, any fuel system component that it touches. And then once the engine is fired again, fresh methanol is running through the system, it dissolves 100% and just blows out the pipes. So
fantastic. Okay, so we've got the fuel flush for doing our fuel lines post race. We've got our pump lube for lubing up our pump, also for long-term storage. And then we've got one more product.
Last product is the fuel lube. Now fuel lube is actually added to the fuel. That 500ml bottle will do a 205 litre drum of methanol. So it's quite economical to use, but what that does is you're backing up all of your fuel system protection by having something in the fuel that will also lubricate any of the components. So it's a real package to maintain that methanol engine. Methanol being so corrosive, it really needs to be looked after to keep the optimum performance out of that engine. Make sure you don't get any blockages, don't have any burnt cylinders from lack of fuel.
I've got to tell you, this product, folks, is absolutely fantastic. I have used it in my drag car, I use it in my sprint car, I sell it at Motorsport Connections. It is absolutely awesome. So I've asked Andrew to come down here today to actually talk us through how we can maybe make it a little bit better and make sure we're doing a good job for after race and also when the season finishes as well. Andrew, talk us through it.
What I'm doing is I'm just turning off the fuel system. I'm just going to drop that main fuel feed line. Yeah, just focus on the fact that something's coming out the end of it there. Get that?
Yep.
Okay, that's cool. That just shows that we've got fuel lube through that side of the system.
Yeah, maybe just show
So,
this video.
Yeah, got it.
pump lube. Well, that's good, Mark, because you can actually fit that in there, and I've given that a good fucking belt.
Yep.
That'll really protect that pump, mate. That's great, especially when you you know, you're turning that engine over.
Yeah.
To
Yep. Right. So our main line's done. Our pump's now lubed up.
you've emptied the line, so now you've got no feed down into the system. So now what we're going to do is we're going to drop. We'll just take them all off. Easiest way to do it. Yeah, this main line here, which is the main feed line, just turn that on. Okay, so what we're doing now is you've taken the main fuel off.
Yep.
Now we're going to purge the fuel from the main feed through to the engine.
the injector,
So
yep,
if you just
yep,
open
yep.
the metering valve,
Yep.
see how it's all coming up through the engine? Yep. That means that we've cleared not only the metering valve, but we've cleared all the lines.
Yep.
So now we just go through and put fuel flush in this. Okay, just open that metering valve
Yep.
again. See that? Beautiful. Now we're getting through the metering valve, we're getting through all the lines, and we know
Is it coming out the other side, is it? Do I need to be...
squirters.
I will if I shut that, it'll start bleeding out the air bleeds.
Yeah. So we've gone through the injectors, now you've shut it. So let's go through and just knock a bit more into,
Now it should start to come out the air bleeds, bro.
put that through the air bleeds.
Okay, so I'm going to get you.
Sound the dribble?
Yep.
Right, out through the air bleeds. Yeah, we can just set that off. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to purge all of that fuel out of the system. So now we're just
Yep.
So,
you're getting fuel through that, right? Blowing, you're just blowing the fuel out first,
Yep.
and then filling it with some fuel flush, and just last one is just fuel. See, that way you don't have to use a rag or anything when you're blowing all of these out too. You got flush coming through that yet? If you can feel flush in it,
Yeah, I think there's flushing out.
how about you?
just feel that.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, you can see it.
Okay, beautiful.
Get, if you can get that print, that's great.
Awesome. So just to recap, put this back on. So what you've done there is you've got the reverse return line where it comes back around, come back down through here, back down, and flushed everything out.
Cool.
Okay, there we go, mate. We've basically gone through and removed all the methanol out of the fuel system. We've then chased it with the alky fuel flush, which will protect the whole system. We've also put the pump lube in through the pump, protect the pump, and no doubt next time you're running, you'll be running fuel lube in the fuel as well. This system is protected, and next time you start this, the methanol will go through and it will dissolve all of those lubricants, and you're back to a 100% clean fuel system. And any of the product that is left behind, obviously you're going to dribble it on the ground or on the car.
I've got to say, we have made a little bit of a mess, and we have used our our normal whole bottle to service it, which is about right. But what do we do about the mess?
All these products are water soluble.
Just hose it down.
Just hose it down. That's the best part. They're environmentally friendly. They are totally water soluble, so you can just wash everything down. You don't have to worry about oil on anything. All washes off.
Don't have to worry about it on my hands.
On your hands, it's safe. Everything's safe. Everything's water soluble, biodegradable, and the best part, it's all made in Australia.
That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for coming
Cheers.
down. Cheers. Thanks, folks.